Hi, I'm Kerri Hollywood from PSP Kingston, and I want to share a recipe with you today. Really super simple, fast and easy recipe for cauliflower cookies, I call them, or cauliflower fritters. Okay, so start with a head of cauliflower. Let's first get this washed, chopped, and all steamed up. So get your steaming pot full of water and ready to go. Your cauliflower is all chopped up, and get it ready to steam. Of course, if you don't have a steaming pot, you could always boil the cauliflower. And let's give it some time to cook. Let's see and check how these are cooking. I'm just gonna poke it with a fork. Yep, they're coming along, they're softening up, but you really wanna soften them up all the way so they're really cooked all the way through. And then I'll show you what's next. Okay, I think the cauliflower is done cooking, so we're gonna turn it off. And be careful, obviously, not to burn yourself, it's very hot. And we're just gonna dump it into a nice big bowl. And then take this off the heat. Of course, we have to let the cauliflower cool now, it's very hot. And then I'll show you the next steps. So of course, washing your hands before you start is important, but I also wash my hands throughout. So I'm gonna wash my hands again, and then we're gonna head over to the cauliflower. And now that the cauliflower has cooled down, I can start mashing it with a potato masher, or you can use a fork, whatever works. Of course, I always save some raw cauliflower for my little furry friend down here, because he loves vegetables. I better wash my hands again. But I always keep something for the dog. Now, one reason why I love this recipe is because not only is it fast and easy, but sometimes you can go into the grocery store and you can find a head of cauliflower kind of on the produce cart that, you know, it's past its prime. So that's a perfect opportunity to get a cauliflower head at a cheaper price. It's also a vegetarian dish, and the fritters, or the cauliflower cookies, when they're finished, they freeze really well. And if you have kids or grandkids, it's kind of a fun recipe. They're gonna wanna get involved when it gets all mushy and gooey, and I'll show you that part in a minute. So once you have it all mashed up like this, you can start adding some ingredients. So the goal is to make it kind of pasty so that it all sticks together. So I add a little bit of flour, maybe up to a cup, I judge. Now normally I would add an egg or 2 eggs. I don't have eggs today, but water does the trick. The flour and the water make a really good paste. And you just slowly keep mixing it together. You might have to judge, you might have to add some more flour. The other fun thing you can add is obviously feta cheese. That makes it taste good. I also add Parmesan, or other kind of chopped or grated cheese will work. Garlic, I love garlic. Chopped up onion also works. And we're just gonna start mashing this together. The other thing I add, if I had some fresh parsley, that would be fabulous, but I have some oregano and some basil. So I'm just continuing to mash. I'm going to add some more flour. I'm just kind of judging the consistency to make sure it gets pasty. Of course, you can add more cheese, you can add more feta, more Parmesan, and it looks like it's getting to be a good paste right now. So this is where it gets fun for the kids or the grandkids, because this is where it gets, you know, ooey gooey messy mess, which they love. This might even be a little too wet, so I might add some more flour. But the whole goal is that you kind of make this pasty cauliflower cookie or fritter into the shape of a giant cookie, and just put it on a plate. And then we're gonna fry them up in some olive oil. You definitely don't wanna overcrowd the pan. And then once they start to turn golden brown, you just flip them over. I also use a combination of olive oil and vegetable oil together, because all olive oil may change the flavor a little too much. So this is the finished product. It's a cauliflower fritter or cauliflower cookie, as I like to call them. Again, you can jazz it up with any spices that you like. You can throw in some onions. It's a nice recipe because, like I said, it's vegetarian, but you could easily make this vegan. And it tastes really good, and they freeze up nicely as well. It's good on the go. And it makes everybody happy, including this guy right here. PSP Kingston, the health and wellness provider for the military community.